All right, everyone, welcome to the 100 Authors in 100 Days Conversation Forum, where we find out the story behind the story. And with us today is Paula Aldis, author of The Woman Who Wouldn't Quit, Unbreakable Spirit. Paula's memoir is not simply a story about illness, survival, or medical trauma. It's a story about faith, motherhood, marriage, resilience, humor, and the extraordinary decision to keep going when life gives you every reason to stop. Diagnosed with type 1 diabetes at just 12 years old, Paula has lived through decades of medical complications, nearly 30 surgeries, amputation, cancer, near-death experiences, military family life, adoption, caregiving, grief, and recovery. But what makes Paula's story powerful is not only what she survived, it is how she continues to love, mother, laugh, believe, and build a meaningful life. So today we're going to talk about the woman behind the book, the story behind the title, and what it truly means to have an unbreakable spirit. So welcome with me today, Paula. How are
Well,
you?
I'm doing very fine. Thank you.
So let's get right into it. And my first question for you today is take me back to the moment where you decided to write the book. Where were you and what was happening around you? Tell us a little bit about that journey.
I decided to write the book as I was actually in the hospital dealing with a severe kidney stone. Um, I just felt that I wasn't heard by doctors, by family, by my husband. They just didn't understand what each little obstacle I met, how much it affected me. And the fact that I wasn't being heard was very difficult for me. So I told myself, if you write this down, if you put this in book form, people will understand it a little bit more and they'll see the true you. They'll get a feeling for what you've been through, how you get past what you've been through. They'll see your sense of humor about it. They'll see your spirit. They'll just know that you are able to do things where, I'm labeled as being disabled. But I feel like I am an abled person. I just my abilities are different than the
Yeah.
average person. And I had to get that through to myself as well because I was in a very low psychological downward spiral. It was just eating me up. I was
Were
getting
you
sick more and more.
were you in the hospital? Like, did you decide to write in a journal? Or how did you, how did the moment hit you? Or like, I'm going to write this down.
I did it in my notes on my phone. And
Oh
I
my God. Okay.
was just laying there waiting for the doctors to come in to give me the bad news. I had just gotten out of emergency surgery
Oh, wow.
and I like, well, you're going to be laying here. Might as well do something. And
Right.
I'm like, you know what? I'm going to work on, I've been thinking about doing a book for a long time. People
Mhm.
tell me I should write a book and all that. So I was like, yeah, I picked up my phone and I started open my notes up and I started writing it.
Yeah.
And by
Yeah.
the time I was discharged, I was there for a whole week. And by the time I was discharged, I was done with it. I was
Right.
finished. And the only thing I didn't know what to do with was the ending of it.
Hmm.
So, like, okay, I'm going to do this. I got your name through, I think Enrique is got
Hmm. Right.
that's the name. And I contacted you and you were willing to work with me. And this is, a
Do it.
whole new yeah, it's a whole new journey for me. I'd never thought it would get to this level, but it's amazing. I feel like I'm really doing something. I'm going to be doing some good with this book as well.
Absolutely. I love your story. I always like to hear how different writers decide, like the moment when a writer decides to just get it done and finish it. So another reason why I love working with you is because when you came to me, you had it all. Like you were like, oh, I already wrote it. And I was like, yes. So then what was left was a lot of like the tweaking and stuff. So thank you for sharing that component of your story. So the next question is it's a little bit different. How has writing The Woman Who Wouldn't Quit, Unbreakable Spirit transformed the way you view your own story and the new life you're living now?
First of all, it's a wow moment. It's like I have lived through so much.
Hmm.
And I also saw that, and I put this in the book, that the word strong, I hated that word. So I always got labeled, you're so strong, you're so strong. And I'm just like, everybody's strong. You're faced with something, you will get through it. You'll find a way to get through it. Um, but it just years though.
Yeah, like how do you feel it transformed you? Like the journey of, from where you were before and then now that you've written the book, like what was that transformation? Or do you feel it transformed you?
Yes, I do. I've definitely found happiness again.
Oh,
I
wow.
The way I ended the book was I had the closest people to me write how they see me. In reading how they see me was totally different what I was telling myself. I was
Hmm.
telling myself I'm such a burden. They don't want to hear my story. They really don't care. Oh, well, here's Paula. She's sick again, or Paula's going into surgery again. But reading how deeply they felt about me, especially my family, because I don't have conversations like that with my brothers and sisters, even my father, he's never really talked to me about my health or anything. And it made me happy to see that they didn't see me the way I thought they saw me. And they really did care about me. Um, but surely I'm a happier person now. I'm happier in my marriage because it took a big toll on our marriage.
Hmm.
I'm happier in that marriage, and I'm learning to not be so tense about everything and stressed about everything. I just kind of let things go, you know? It's
Yeah,
going to
you
happen.
kind of like you got a little lighter,
Yes.
maybe.
Yes,
Yeah, I love
definitely.
that. I definitely, as your publisher, I did see that transformation from the first conversation we had to even this conversation we're having now. Like I could see there's just been like this beautiful way, in which you're more expressive. Because at the beginning, I think for most writers, it can be intimidated at the beginning, like to share the information or to share what you've written, and a lot of people get stuck on what are people going to now, people are really going to see me for who I am, because you're very vulnerable in the book, as the readers who are watching this will know. And then I do also agree with you that at the very end, some of the things that your family had to say about you, what was like so wonderful, and so I'm I'm glad to hear that the book helped you be surprised about what, because you didn't know what they were going to say, and then I'm sure when you started collecting all of their reviews and collecting what their thoughts were, that was a nice surprise for you.
Yes, it
So
was.
I like that part I like that part in the book because it's not very typical where you have those kinds of things at the end of a memoir. But that was your idea. That was the idea came from you to make that happen. So I definitely think that that was a nice addition to the memoir for sure. Um, so the last and final question is, what was the most fun or unexpected part of this authorship journey for you, and why?
Oh, goodness.
Like
I
think of I didn't mean to interrupt you, but think of a moment like during the publishing journey where, you felt proud or you laughed a lot or you couldn't really believe that that was happening.
I think it was with like the book signings and these interviews that I'm not intimidated by it. because I was, I said, I can't speak in public. I can't read out loud because, I got a form of
Yeah.
dyslexia where I can't read out loud. And I'm finding that pretty easy to do. Um, the book signings, even though they've been small, it's very nice. And it's just with the publishing too, I'm shocked by how much work your team goes into it. I'm learning about computers because I don't know the first thing about running a computer and I didn't even know how to cut and paste. I had to have you teach me that.
Now
And
you do.
I've learned. I mean, that's fun learning that stuff. Now I can do it without having to stop and ask somebody, how do I do this? Usually it's my daughter doing all the technical stuff for me or my husband doing it for me. Now I can figure it out on my own.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
the journey is just it's amazing to me just how much goes into it. It's not just writing the book, publish it,
Yeah.
wash your hands, you're done. And the
No.
book will sell, you know.
No.
No, no, not at all. And the
No.
marketing is unbelievable with the memes. It just, yeah, there's a lot that goes into it.
Mhm.
And
There is. There is.
yeah,
Mhm.
I had looked into self-publishing and just trying to read about it and understand what they were saying. I was like, there ain't no way I could get this done. And I'm
Mhm.
like, I need to hire somebody to help me with this. And the fact that, it's all me. You're not taking a piece of it or anything like that. I mean, it's just like it's me. It's 100% my book, my everything, my story, everything, and it's not being changed.
Mhm.
Uh, my voice is that's my voice. The way I write and everything is the way I speak. I'm not the best at grammar or anything. So it's like I feel that didn't get changed on me. So
Right.
it wasn't my voice that was
Mhm.
putting these words down.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, and we definitely want to honor every author's writing style and voice.
Mhm.
So I'm happy to hear that you saw the big scope, right? That it isn't just like, oh, I, published a book and then that's that. It's a career. It's basically you putting in the legwork, right? And then making sure that, you show up to the signings and you show up to the podcast and you show up to the projects of whatever the publishers has you doing, and that it is a long-term game. It's not something that you write and you set aside and then you forget about it. At least not if you're a serious about making sure that you spread your message. And you do have such a beautiful message, you know, about not quitting, about not giving up, regardless of your circumstances. And I always love that. I always love that because it is really inspirational. Even, I don't know if you remember, I mean, I had a great time just reading through the story with you, but initially, like when we were first reading the chapters, I just remember choking up because I was like, oh my God, I cannot believe that this stuff happened to you. So every time that we would get on the call, I was like really eager to like find out more. And because I'll do a rough read through, but it's different, as you know, when we actually sit down and we read sentence by sentence by sentence, and we talk about it and we discuss it, and for me, it was a really beautiful journey, and there was like a lot for me, a lot of fun moments and a lot of tough things to listen to, and for sure, for sure, your story is inspirational. And who knew, right? Who knew that you were actually very good on camera and really good, talking? Because the whole time you're like, oh, I
Yeah,
can't do that, I
yeah.
can't do that, and it turns out like you're a natural. So I love that. All right. So is there anything that you want to leave the reader with and let them know why, more about your book, or why it's important for them to pick up a copy and read it?
Yeah, I do. And that's life sucks. You're faced with stuff daily, but it's how you
Mhm.
handle it, how you encourage yourself to get through it, how you want other people to see you get through things so they can learn from it. Like, and I feel I go through something and I always look at the person next to me in the hospital bed or in the hall, and I'm just like, they've got it worse than me. You're going to get past this. You've gotten past so many other things. You will get past this one. It's not going to be the best, the funnest getting through it, because the recovery time is when you want to really give up. But just look at every little step you make.
Mm-hmm.
There's been times where I couldn't even roll over in bed. I couldn't get myself out of the bed. And that first time I was able to switch myself around to the side of the bed and put my feet on the ground by myself, that was such an inspirational thing that the next day I tried to do something else on my own. And it just gave me the courage to try new things, and it's like, my circumstances aren't going to change. I will always have to deal with this. Maybe you're in that same spot to where you're going to be faced with stuff constantly.
Yeah.
But you can encourage yourself. You cannot put yourself in the grave.
Mm-hmm.
You just have to find positivity in other things. If it's not how you feel, find it in something else, and put all your trust in God as well. So
it's beautiful. I love it. Thank you for sharing that. So, well, Paula, thank you for sharing your heart, your story, and your unbreakable spirit with us today.
you're
Your
welcome.
book, yes, your book, The Woman Who Wouldn't Quit, Unbreakable Spirit, is more than a memoir, like I said earlier. It is a reminder that our hardest chapters do not get to define the whole story. Through illness, loss, like I said earlier, motherhood, faith, humor, because you're very funny. You show us that what it means to keep choosing life. What I love most about your journey is that this book is not only about what happened to you, it's about who you became and what you now understand, and the legacy you're leaving for your family, your readers, and everyone who needs proof that they too can keep going. Thank you for trusting RMP Studio to helping us bring this powerful story into the world. And thank you for being part of the 100 Authors, 100 Days, where we uncover the story behind the story. So thank you again, Paula. See you again next time, okay?
All right. Thank you. Bye.
And a sleeping face, a love born in a king's place. She held the sun like morning sun. You and I, we've just begun. Soon my daughter to a beauty